if I was in a meeting, a high-level meeting, across from Elliot Grange, Lucian Grange, one of the big dogs in the music industry, and they said, Afam. And I said, yo, what's up? What's up, guys? How are you guys doing? And they were like, I want you to tell me who is the artist we should sign in East Africa, in Kenya specifically, right now. I'm saying Zaituni.
Start, yeah. Make I got it go. Take me far away. Take me far away. Take me far away.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the 30% podcast, episode 147. My name is Sam. I'm joined by Afamefuna Onyebadi, the greatest producer in the game. This is a
you already know.
You already know. This is a Kenyan pod. This is a podcast for the Kenyan music industry, about the Kenyan music industry from the perspective of two producers. And yeah, we love delivering this to you, just talking about what's going on in the industry and, you know, just commentary, educating, learning, and all of that stuff. Afam, what's going on? How are you?
Nothing much. I'm chilling, you know, just living in Brooklyn. Did you ever used to watch a show way back in the day called Cooking in Brooklyn?
No. No, I don't. I have no idea what that is, man. Please,
it used to come.
Tell us.
It used to come
what
on
exactly
KTN.
is that? Wait, okay.
It's just a cooking. It used to come on KTN. It was a cooking show. It was this guy, and he never seemed like he had his shit together. He always looked so like all over the place, but he used to just go to different kitchens in Brooklyn and cook stuff. And I was addicted. For those of you listening, I'm a huge fan of cooking shows. They're the ultimate
me too.
comfort.
Me too. Oh,
like
yeah,
shows.
I like
you
a
know what
good
I mean?
cooking show.
Yeah, it's so comfortable, like, or comforting watching, like, watching MasterChef.
You have to rank the main ones. We have MasterChef, Hell's Kitchen. What was the other one?
Okay.
What was the other one?
Guy Fieri, like, what is it called? Diners and inns or whatever
in and
it's
out
called.
Dive. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name, but I know what you're talking about.
The Guy Fieri one.
Let me see.
Did you mention MasterChef, right? Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Hell's Kitchen is part of that.
No.
But it's not that. That's not what I was talking about. But Hell's Kitchen is part of it as well.
Yes, I know the one you're talking about. That okay, hold on. I need to search this up because there's one that's also really, really. Are you talking about the one where like they get like 3 amateur chefs to like compete and see who can make?
No, which one? Which one is that? I haven't watched that one.
Okay, wait, which is the one that you're talking about? So you said you could. There's one that you couldn't remember.
Yeah, no, I don't have to start like looking for. Let me see.
If I had to rank for me, like in terms of shows that I've watched, like I was a huge fan of MasterChef. Like the Australia one, like especially the Australia one. I watched that a lot. And then Hell's Kitchen, to be honest, I've watched it here and there. It's not been like the biggest thing that I watched in my my cooking show things. There's one I watch a lot. It's Guy Fieri. It's not the diners, drive-ins and dives. It's I don't know what it's called, but like he has people go to like what do you call it? Like a grocery store. It's called Grocery Games. That's what it's called. I watch that a lot. And then, so he has amateur chefs. Then they have to like get ingredients from like the grocery and make stuff. One of my favorites. I would say those. And then what's his name? The complete antithesis to Gordon Ramsay, Jamie Oliver. I was a huge Jamie Oliver fan.
Jamie Oliver. Oh no,
Bro, like back in the day back in the day, I remember on KTN, he used to have a thing where he cooks for his friends in his apartment. I don't know if you remember that or you watched that, but that was my show. And then he goes shopping like in the local markets and stuff like that for like his ingredients, and it was so wholesome. Everybody hates on Jamie Oliver, but me personally, I think he's a decent guy. I don't mind him. I don't know what he did to people. Anyway, what's your ranking?
The one I was talking about was Top Chef. But then a late sleeper.
Top Chef.
Yeah, Top Chef. A late sleeper was Anthony. I was introduced to Anthony Bourdain like later on after he had passed.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I absolutely love his stuff, man. It was just so cool.
No, for real. No. Anthony Bourdain's like just the aspect of traveling and just like trying different like dishes. Yeah. I think for me, and okay, guys, I promise this is a music industry podcast, but Cake Boss.
It's a food review podcast. It's a food.
Did you ever watch
Cake
Boss?
Review podcast? No, Cake what? Bots. I don't like the cake shows. I don't like the Is It Cake and all of them.
What?
Like, no, I can't stand them joints. No, I don't want to know whether a slippers on the table is a cake or a fork.
This is
how you cut through a fork and it's a cake. How do you do that? That's ridiculous.
Before you start ranting about this, one of my favorite Japanese game shows is the one where you're supposed to guess if something is chocolate. Anyway, I digress. Cake Boss was an amazing show. I don't know if it still continues. About he was a chef called Buddy Valastro, and he has a bakery, and they had to make like all these crazy cakes. Somebody listening to this podcast knows what I'm talking about. Cake Boss is also one of my all-time best like comfort shows of all time. Anyway, what a digress! Like we really digressed.
Yeah, what's going on? What have you been up to?
Sam, no. How are you doing?
First off, I'm so sorry, guys. Last week I said I was sick. This week I'm sick again, but this week I'm a different kind of sick. So if I sound a little bit crazy, I apologize. Please forgive me with all the forgiveness in your heart. I am a bit under the weather. Speaking of weather, today it rained cats and dogs. Like when someone says cats and dogs, like it rained so much I thought the sky was going to fall down. It's a different kind of rain was falling over here. But I'm good. I had a very eventful week.
Did you go outside to observe?
Yeah. Last week I was outside. The whole of last week I was outside. The beginning of the week, I thought I was going to come and give a whole long thing, but then I guess I'll just shorten it. The beginning of the week, I went out sightseeing, actually. I was a tourist in my own country. You know, like when you're walking around Nairobi and you see these tourist buses with like people from other countries in it, and like other parts of the world in it, and then you're looking at it. So I was I was in those buses now.
That was you.
Yeah, in my own. And the irony is that I was doing that in my home country, which is crazy. But yeah, so we went out to Ogun State. It's a state near Lagos where I am, and went out to a place called Abeokuta, which is it's a site. It has some history in terms of like the building of Nigeria. So the site we went to is a giant rock called Olumo Rock. So it's like a tourist site, one of the tourist sites in the country. It's just a big rock where, I guess when people were fighting for something, I don't know whether it was independence or there was fighting going on, and so the rock was kind of like their home and their refuge. So we went up there to see it. It was really cool. Went with a couple of guys. I went with a couple of guys who were here for a wedding that I had attended also in the later part of the week, but they'd come from like the UK and other places. It was very cool. It was terrifying though, because all right, so when you get in there, I'm going to try and make this short. You get in there, it's like the first climb is like 100 and something stairs, right? The entire thing is like 100 meters is what they said, 140, 150 meters. I think, don't quote me on that. But then it's a couple of stairs. So we climbed up the stairs. Guys are already tired, winded. How are we climbing so many stairs? But that was just the beginning. So we went, the guide, one of the guides or the people at the stations kind of talked to us. So this is the base of the rock, this is where people were hiding and all that business. So then we climbed to the next stage. Now, I noticed that the further up you go, the less safety we had. I was so confused. So we climbed up and then we got to a place where now it's a rock and there was like inside the rock where they're hiding, where there was the hiding and everything. So I was like, oh, this is cool. Then now we move up to another area where we have to climb in between some rocks and there's nothing to hold you down. Mind you, if you turn around and look, you're seeing the entire city. So we are pretty high. So we're climbing with no harnesses, no safety rails, no guards. I mean, no guide rails. We're just literally going off the strength of your athleticism. So we get up there and then we make it because that one wasn't so difficult. If you fall down, you can hold between the two rocks and you won't die. The next stop, Afam, I kid you not, was overlooking the city. Do you want to know what kind of, it's like an edge, almost like a cliff. Do you want to know the safety that they had for us? They had drawn a red line on the rock and said, do not cross.
Yeah, but don't cross. Yeah, don't cross the red line.
I was looking at these guys like, you guys must be crazy to think that this will fly in any... Like, what is the safety? And after that spot was crazy because that's where like there's like the sign, like a big sign you could read from the ground that says Olumo Rock and whatever it is. So that was cool. So we sat there and then after that there was another station. Now this one was crazy because it's even higher and there's no rails. So you have to climb a really big rock. So you have to get on. I got down on all fours just so that I do not lose my mind. And in between that rock that we were climbing to get to the summit and the place where we were, which is already dangerous, there was like a drop down, like there was space in between the rock. I wish this makes no sense, but I'll send you the videos. It's ridiculous. There was a space in between the rock, and between that there was like a platform that you walk past. This platform was shaky, bro. It was shaking, like it wasn't stable. Like you're walking on it. That
sounds like my nightmare.
It was my nightmare. It was so bad. Then we get to the top, and then I'm wondering, okay, we're up here. There's absolutely nothing keeping the wind from blowing someone to their death. And then how do we get down? Or just climb down the stairs? I was like, okay, you guys aren't serious. So I was so mad. And I felt like I was the only one who was mad. Everyone else was having a great time. But I was like, how can this stand? This is not safe. This is terrible. This can't be our tourist. Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I do love that you've told us that whole story because... great story. I did ask though if you went and saw the blood moon. I think it was last night.
Is that
the
what you asked?
blood moon?
Oh,
that's what I asked. But I actually like that you told us this whole story.
I'm so
it's
sorry,
actually
man.
very interesting.
That's crazy.
No,
I didn't see it. I mean, I saw it on social media. I went outside to see the blood moon over here, but I was milky white moon. I didn't see it. I'm kind of looking at everyone on social media like, I don't think this thing is real. I don't think it exists. I think everyone just found one picture that works, and then we're all posting different angles of it. But my bad. Sorry. I was telling you about my...
No. Don't apologize. That was an
I didn't see it. Did you see it? Did you see it? Was it blood moon everywhere around the world?
I don't think it was in our
I didn't see it.
So I didn't see it either. But anyway, Sam, let's give these people what they're here for, which is music industry stuff. So we want to talk about the music industry in general and just how fake it is. Sam, let's just be honest. We're living in it's a lie. The music industry is a whole lie. And we are here to tell you guys, everything you see is just manufactured. And you know how some, when they say people lie, numbers don't, or what do they say? Or the numbers don't lie and stuff like that. I'm telling you guys, the numbers lie all the time. Numbers are actually some of the least credible things, especially when it comes to the music industry. Reason we want to talk about this is because it's been trending in the news bots, bots in the industry, man. And let me tell you, this is something that I have noticed that people use in the Kenyan music industry as well. I think I mentioned this in a podcast ages ago about how back in the day when I used to use this application called Chartmetric. I used to really just I used to really snoop and just check everybody's back end to see what they're doing with their streams. And I used to see some Kenyan artists like really buying like bots, because there's a way you can check the graph of like the monthly listeners or the streams. And if you see like a vertical line upwards, and then a plateau followed by another vertical line upwards in the graph, or that means somebody they are pumping those like fake streams. Those are all fake. And people were doing it a lot, especially like on certain platforms. Let me actually not say them because I don't wanna whatever. But yeah, I noticed some Kenyan artists doing that as well. And I guess the question I wanna ask you, Sam, is do you think how do you feel about streaming as a whole? Do you think streaming has been an overall good or bad for the industry, just because things like people just manipulating the game using bots? And the reason we bring it up was like Young Thug was talking about how they all spent $50,000 to buy bots and stuff like that, and a bunch of people do that as well. The whole story that came out of Spotify wanting to test if they can social mediaize Spotify and have people sending texts to their friends on streaming. Do you think streaming is an overall do you think it's really just good for the industry, or do you think it's really taken away from the real experience of listening to music? Or do we just sound like millennials right now?
Man, I mean, in terms of the timeline and the evolution of music, streaming makes sense because it's technology. It's where technology is taking us. So in that sense, it's fine. But it has introduced a couple of problems. One, it's made music too accessible. That's something that I've really been looking at in different places, the accessibility of music. It's made it entirely too accessible, which in turn I feel like would affect quality and just how people go about picking and curating music. It influences how artists create in a negative way. There's negatives and positives to all these things, I think. I don't ever want to make it seem like it's just, unless it is actually just a complete negative, I don't want to make it seem like it's just a complete negative. But streaming has done that. Streaming has also lowered the revenue of artists, which is a really big and bad point. It's completely, the arbitrary 0.00032 or 64, whatever they decide on a random Monday in June, is there's less control that the artist has over that. So in that sense, it's kind of negative. In terms of like revenue, it's kind of negative. Artists, I don't think, have become richer with streaming. I think labels have become richer with streaming because they're the ones who control the money points. Yeah, but
how do you feel about people manipulating the game with like bots and just like manipulating the system and all that?
That's one of like the negatives of it, is because it's technological and digital, then it's much easier to forge numbers. That's not cool. I mean, that affects the field. It is present it was present in different ways in the industry, where, like, for example,
back in the day.
yeah. I mean, if an artist is bringing out a CD and the label wants to inflate the numbers, they'll just buy all the copies that they created.
They'll buy 50,000 copies.
Yeah. So,
bro.
Yeah.
People have been scamming since the dawn of time.
Scamming is always going to be there, man. Scamming, it's just that botting is a lot easier because it's more accessible now to the artist. Because now an artist can just go find a random service somewhere and pay them to inflate streams. That it's a lot harder because back in the day you had to actually cough up like however much money it takes to buy 50,000 copies. Like you have to pay that to buy because you're buying those copies directly from like a store or whatever it is. But now here you can just pay a service and you get it. So it's more accessible to forge numbers, and there's a lot of forging going on because of that. More than we think.
But here's my question, Sam. Here's my question. So if you're just on Spotify, lollygagging, okay, I don't know why I use that word, but like you're on Spotify just looking at artists, is your listening decision, Sam, as a listener, like influenced by how many monthly listeners or streams people have on their music? Because if somebody has, let's say, if you find a new artist and they have 100,000 songs on a song, are you more likely to listen to that song than another song they have that has only 3,000 listeners? I'm trying to get into the psyche. What's the psyche behind people feeling the need to inflate numbers?
Yeah, it's popularity. Popularity sells. People tend to do that though. Well, sheep, honestly, tend to do that where the higher numbers make it seem like more people are on that side, and so I want to belong to part of the group. We've talked about that a bit. I want to belong to the group, and so I will go over there, and then it's confirmation bias. It's just reinforced that you like that kind of music when the song with 1,000 plays over the song with 100,000, 200,000 plays could be a better song, but because everyone is on that side, I'm going to go that side. So digitalization. How do you pronounce that word? Digitalization. My bad. I'm so sorry. Digitization of music has created more avenues for. It's turned music into more of a social media game. Is what I don't like. It's kind of annoying, where it's become a popularity contest, and it's not fun anymore. Yeah.
I think streaming has really cheapened what music was about.
Yeah. How so?
It's just cheap now. Like, like people buying streams, the value of a stream, who knows what it is now. Like they decided 150 streams is equivalent to what, a purchase or something. Bro, is it 150? Yeah, 150. Because I think they calculate that 15 streams is equal to you buying a single CD. No, is it 150 or either way? It's just it's like
1,500. 1,500 streams, I think.
Yeah, 1,500 is equals to an entire listen of a project,
album bought,
right?
Ridiculous.
Oh yeah, one album bought. Exactly, that's what I meant. Like, bro, it's so 150 streams is equivalent to you purchasing one song, because they assume that these are 10 project or 10 song projects. Anyway, bro, it's just all arbitrary. I don't know, man. Like, I don't even know what we exist in. Also, it is kind of disappointing to see the amount of like people just buying streams. And the argument is because it's worked for people. So essentially, it's all about like the perception, like, my music has 1 million streams. You go with it to the labels, thinking that that's what's gonna like persuade them. And sure, maybe that could have worked in 2013 when streaming was still young, but now everybody has access to the back end, and they'll just know. They'll just know you bought those streams either way. But actually, everybody knows, because if in the level of Ghana, at that level, if you're buying botted streams, then everybody knows. Everybody who's in the industry knows that that's what you've done. So it's just like, why? And for what reason?
I don't think people care though.
You know,
I don't think people. I think the artists, like the artists who, like, when they are passing, walking past each other in the halls of the label, like, do they care? Like, I feel like they all know they're doing it, and so the game is still on. It's like, who can have the most, who can have the most streams, and who can make the most money off streaming, whether or not it's botted.
So you didn't care that Kendrick Lamar was botting his streams?
Not that I don't care. I'm not saying that I don't care. I'm saying that I don't think they care within the artist's clique. Yeah, and you're trying to rage bait, obviously, but it's fine because even Drake they're all doing it. Even the guy who's accusing him of doing it did it in that battle as well.
The boy doesn't. He didn't do it in the battle.
The boy, he says.
The boy did
the
do
fact
it
that
in
you
the
call him the
battle,
boy,
bro.
I'm not even going to listen to anything you're saying. The boy. Goodness, you're calling a grown man the boy. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Oh
man.
my God.
You should be ashamed of yourself. Drake has had you guys moving mad in the streets also. Like, how are you calling a grown man the boy like he's your friend?
He's come under so much controversy about his rollout because the people didn't like the third episode he did.
Yeah. Yeah. And then now
But anyway,
now it's he's doing it on purpose so he can just leave me alone. But anyways, what I was saying is that in between themselves, like when they're in those meetings in the labels and whatever, like they all know they're doing it. And so the popularity, I mean, the game is still on for them. Like, it's still, I want to get as many streams as I can. So let's figure out how to bot and whatever. I don't think they care at that level. I don't think they care. I don't think the labels care, because ultimately botting brings in more money. It's terrible for art, but it brings in more money.
It does. So. It does, man. I think bots, bro, it distorts like the metrics that we have to kind of determine what music is doing well, right? Because now who knows what's actually real, you know?
Yeah.
And obviously there's an element of financial manipulation. We've seen, bro, it's even a part of the gang like economy now, because like even the mafia or whoever, like those people are all involved in this because it's a bag, especially with the old model of collection of these monies, where everything is just in a pool and everybody gets a piece of the pie. It's very easy to manipulate, like in comparison to the artist-centric model where it's like, oh, y'all listened to my music, so this is what I'm getting specifically from you people who listen to my music. So, and then also now with this whole situation, so, you know, the way they have modeled or branded this idea about sending messages on Spotify to, it's like, oh, this is for people who want to send music to their family. I don't know why they're really leaning heavy on, it's about sending music to your family members or podcasts. So like they're really trying to like humanize it or
playing
whatever.
The emotional game. It's so silly.
Ultimately, I feel like these are all just ploys to keep people on the platform.
Yeah.
Longer.
And the model that has worked for a long time is a social media model, and so, like, since the birth of like Facebook and everything, like that has been a model that has sustained itself. It has evolved into different forms, but then ideally it's still the same. Where it's the main focus is the individual, and they can interact with the world around them and share things, essentially share their world with other people. So now Spotify is doing that with music. If there was an app with that just lets me play music without all of the added junk, I would switch to that immediately. Like, I don't want comments. Like, I don't want comments on music. I don't want private messages. What are we doing here? I just
start
want
listening to music on vinyl again. Or buy
I need to buy a Sony
CD
Walkman.
Player.
I need to buy a Walkman again.
Yeah,
this
man.
is ridiculous.
Hey, listen, let's go back. Let's take it back. Let's take it back all the way, man. Because
Like,
honestly,
remember iPods? Jeez, we need those back.
I met somebody who has an iPod, and I was like, "You are just so cool." Because like, who even has an iPod? Like,
was it the ones with the screens? Was it the ones? Because those ones
Yes.
those ones were those ones are a gem. I gave mine away out of the kindness of my heart, and
I never. You owned an iPod. I'm so jealous.
I owned an iPod. What's it called? The bigger ones that had a screen on them.
Because I never owned one. I was just jealous of you people.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it. But then I owned one of them. Then I gave it. A friend of mine asked for it, and then I gave it to him, and then immediately after I gave it to him, I regretted my decision. And you can't go back and say, "Yo, bro, you know the thing I gave you. I want that back."
Yeah, I want it back.
It was the iPod Classic. It was the Classic with a screen. Oh, it was so good. Anyway, I do feel like it's the turning music not being the center of the music industry, and it's now about the technology and the platforms and everything. That's obviously going to create like problems that we have. Technology is going to carry over with its problems, and now it's just going to affect the music industry, which is kind of what we're having to fight against. But it's not going to stop, honestly, because it's technology and it's what's happening in the world. So yeah, artists just have to find a way around it. I do like the fact that I guess I can say this, then we can move. I like the fact that a positive with advancing technology in music is that it has given more people opportunities. So more people are able to earn from their art and share their art with the world. Whereas back in the day, you'd probably have to go through like 1 million channels for you to be able to be recognized as a musician. Labels and A&Rs and engineers and everything. So it's a lot easier these days. But yeah, positives and negatives, I guess.
Yeah, there are, man. But yo, guys, today we want to talk about a positive. I want to talk about a positive in the industry. Sam, do you want to talk about a positive in the music industry, specifically the Kenyan music industry? I was asking a question. Like, do you want to talk about one? You're supposed to say, yes, Afam, I want to talk about what, bro. Where's the energy? Okay, sorry. Anyway, guys.
Yes, I want to talk about a positive.
We don't typically do this, but I actually felt compelled to do this. And the second thing we wanted to talk about in today's podcast is Zaituni's project. Notice how I said Zaituni. She decided to rebrand. First of all, let's start here. So Sam, how do you feel about the rebrand? Do you think this is something that was needed? Do you think that it's extracurricular? Are you in support of it or no?
I mean, she felt like it was needed. The artist is the director of the career, right? So she felt like it was needed in terms of just her brand and everything. I don't mind it. It's not like a big change. She didn't change her name to like a completely different thing. She just dropped the Wambui off it. And I feel like this name, I mean, it's the first time I've had this name, so it's pretty unique within the music scene, at least in Kenya. So it's a good. I think it's not a terrible change. It's
I'm wholly in support of the change. Yeah. I think having just the name Zaituni is so ethereal. It's mysterious. It's like, who is this? It's like, what am I about to experience?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, in her press, she said that the decision to drop to go as Zaituni represents her desire to have full autonomy over her name and likeness, not only as an artist, but also in her personal life, whatever that means. I'm actually quite curious now. But yeah.
Well, maybe that separates. There's a degree of separation between Zaituni Wambui, the family
the
person
artist,
who friends know, and you know what I mean, and Zaituni, this big superstar who, in my opinion, is the best thing to come out of Kenya. But let's continue.
Yeah. Well, you've made your opinions known very clearly.
Early. Okay, so I am in support of it. So obviously, there's gonna be teething problems whenever you make a big decision like this. One, big issue is always moving your music catalog to a different account. Spotify actually need to streamline this process. It came under a little bit of scrutiny on social media because people picked up that she had changed her name, and there was a bit of like a disconnect in the sense that some songs hadn't fully transferred to the new profile, and some are still under the Zaituni Wambui profile. I mean, we've seen this all before with Keithan and Ethan Muziki and all that stuff. But these are all things that get straightened out with time. The Spotify connections in the country. Spotify. The Spotify office is actually really revamping. This year, there was a brief period like last year and I believe 2023 where Spotify had kind of like kind of softened their approach in the country, but now they're back and doing a lot of stuff in the scene. So bro, there's people for Zaituni and her team to talk to. I think it's going to be sorted out, and moving her catalog to this new I mean, I do understand this new name.
I do understand
it's going to happen.
Yeah, I do understand
soon.
people saying that though, because I guess it would be good for a team to try and figure that out before the drop. Sometimes it takes time, obviously.
I'm sure they tried.
It's not something that's
I'm sure they tried.
Yeah. It's
I'm
just
sure they
always good
tried,
to try and figure that out before the drop, so that once you drop, you're drawing people. Because we talk about the cross catalog thing, where I mean, you're an artist could come to you for something and then discover your previous work, right? So if she's rebranding and the new songs are under the new name, it's great to have them the old songs as well, so that people can go back to that for the newer fans, So sometimes, I mean, that's good. But then if you're not able to do that, then you're not able to do that, I guess.
Facts. But in my opinion, I think they'll straighten it out. I don't think there's any cause for concern. But Sam, let's talk about this project, A Labor of Love. How do you feel about it?
I think that's the first thing I went to. Because when did it drop? It didn't drop on a Friday, did it?
No, I feel like it was midweek. Out of the blue, I was like, what? People are talking about this in past tense, like it's already come out, and I was like, what? Yeah. So I was like, I had to run to listen to it.
So I went to listen to it.
How did you feel?
I went to listen to the whole thing from start to finish. I mean, I want to say it. I expected it. I expected what she brought. But then usually when someone says that, it has a negative connotation, like it wasn't good. No, I expected her to bring this level of her songwriting and just her vocals and everything. And the production also was pretty good. The project as a whole is fantastic, honestly. It's a 8-track introduction to an artist who has quietly just been making waves, and I think this is a good snapshot or a good picture of who she is as an artist and kind of what she offers. I mean, the vocals on some of these songs are just like they're so silky,
phenomenal.
They're so smooth. Yeah,
silky is even an understatement. which is crazy, because bro, that's really one of the best compliments you can give an artist.
Yes, so smooth. And it's complimented. I mean, we'll get into it, but it's complimented by just the production of the project itself. I'm talking about the instrumentals, and the mixing and the mastering, the engineering of the project. Like, it just really brings her out. It's a very good project. Songwriting on some of these songs, I was like, I was. She's man, Zaituni is just fantastic. I don't want to sound like I'm just waffling, but she's just a fantastic artist. I don't even know what to say
Sam,
about her.
Someone
needs to sign her ASAP. Like, yo, Universal and them, what are y'all doing?
So here's how I feel, man. This is how I feel. This is genuinely how I feel. If I was in a meeting, a high-level meeting, across from Elliot Grange, Lucian Grange, one of the big dogs in the music industry, and they said, Afam. And I said, yo, what's up? What's up, guys? How are you guys doing? And they were like, I want you to tell me who is the artist we should sign in East Africa, in Kenya specifically, right now. I'm saying Zaituni. If I was told to put somebody on, I'm saying Zaituni without any fear of me being let down or them playing the music and I'm like, oh wait, no, actually, let's actually listen to this one because in this one she was better. No, Zaituni is genuinely light years away from everyone else right now. I think she's on a level of her own. I think this project really solidifies her position in the industry right now. You know, before this project, she had catalog. We had Tamu, and that was the biggest song.
Yeah.
But this project really shows me that she is one of the names that we really need to pay attention to in the game right now.
Yeah.
Bro, if anybody out here in America asks me, yo, Afam, who's a Kenyan artist I need to listen to? I'm saying Zaituni. Bro, like without even thinking, I'm putting you onto Zaituni. And then I'm feeling like a G. You know when you put somebody onto new music and you're like, oh shit, and then people are impressed and you're like, yeah, because I just know good music.
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing, man.
I mean,
and
yeah, it's really fantastic. I am trying to, because I mean, so she has Tamu, and Tamu has done really well, and she was on D&D, which is also doing pretty well, making its round, right? It's rounds. Fantastic song as well. Shout out to We Are Nubia.
And IRL, you know, yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, I can't leave the guy out. Come on, yeah, obviously on
but
your
then,
project
guys,
as well.
I'm not saying this stuff. Sorry to interrupt you, but I'm not saying these things just because I've also worked with Zaituni. I genuinely, even if she had no clue who I was and didn't, bro, I would say the same thing. Sorry, Sam. Go ahead.
What was I saying? Oh no, so yeah, she's had those. My thing is now, I really do hope like this project and starts putting her in the I don't say mainstream, but then in more conversations about like artists who are actually like stepping out of that niche, because she sounds like she can be way more than niche. She sounds like she could be like a real player within the industry, and she's working towards it. Like this is just like, even the way this project has been put together, everything from the album art is just so nostalgic and soft, and just it's cool, and the mixing and mastering is very, very it's not harsh, it's warmer, it's even the choice of production,
it's the edges are rounded. You know when the edges are rounded?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean when I say the edges are rounded when you listen to music?
Yeah. It's not as digital, and it's very cool. The instrumentals on here are very minimal. Right, there's a lot of space in between, so she definitely comes out and she shines. And it's not like overbearing. There's a thing a problem we have in Kenyan music where people just like slap reverb on everything, and it's just too much reverb. Like on here, it's very measured
and
for the
too much high end as well.
Yeah. On here, it's very measured, and it sounds clean. Like I was listening, a good way to tell, and I think you can attest to this as well. A good way to tell is when we listen to music and we don't automatically think about the mixing. Like I didn't even, not until now have I thought about the mixing.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you can definitely tell.
Or if you listen to it on your phone and it already sounds good.
Yeah. So shout out to I think Chris Adwar mixed the majority
Shout
of the
out to
project.
you, Chris Adwar.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, man.
Apart from Nipende, I think that was mixed by somebody else.
And then also shout out to Anariko for the production.
Oh no,
I think
this
Anariko
is a good marriage, bro.
You know when we talk about Ukweli and Zinia, Anariko and Zaituni.
Yeah.
Duo.
No,
That's
Very
a duo
good.
for the ages.
Very cool,
man.
very good production, very minimal. The shaker is really the star for me, bro. That shaker just creeps up and it just keeps tempo and nah, bro. This is a very good
And then
song.
also,
very good. I mean,
I
project.
do respect them. I respect Zaituni and her team. Shout out to you, Edna, because this is very timely. You know, Blankets and Wine is happening later this month.
Yeah.
And so it's really good that they released this now so that you can have more catalog. And I think so strategically, that's a reason why this project has come out now. Before the 28th, when Blankets and Wine rolls around.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, when we talk about the sonics and just the approach that was taken in making this music, when I listened to it, it gave me the feeling that it was with an intention to perform the music. When I was listening to TikTok towards the end, I'm like, oh wow, I can already see them performing this live. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the approach was, this is because I'm going to perform these songs in front of crowds.
Yeah.
And I like that. You can already tell the intention is to perform this music, which aligns with it also coming before Blankets and Wine. Bro, I think when Thames listens to this, she's bro.
Yeah. No, it's
And I think we're
fantastic.
going to see that Thames Zaituni collaboration.
Thames Zaituni
bro.
collaboration.
I think it's going to happen.
That would be interesting
It's
too.
gonna
That would be
happen,
interesting.
man.
Like that's an interesting pairing. It's not one that you'll naturally go to, but if that happens, that'd be cool. Yeah, I agree with you, bro. Like it's a good piece of art, man. It's good to see some of this kind of music coming out from some of the newer artists. With just like the thought and intention. I remember talking to her when we had come. Not talking to. Was it how I was talking to her manager? When she had come, we were at your listening party. It was her. I think I was talking to, and it's just like she was like she had written a lot of just telling me of how Tamu came about, and then just the fact that she's being intentional and she doesn't want to rush the music. This doesn't sound rushed at all. Like this sounds like she took her time and crafted like really good pieces of music. Sasa Hivi was a brilliant intro track. Tamu of course fits. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about Tamu in the sequence of everything? Because of course that has been like a song that's
Love
been
it.
doing.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think Tamu was meant to be song number 3. And then I love that they put TikTok right after Tamu. In my opinion, they're like sister songs.
Yeah.
Like they just like flow together. They're just that's just how it was meant to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I love the placement of TikTok. My only gripe about the sequence and just like what I felt didn't really fit was Nipende. And it's not even because of like the content material. It's because of the way it was mixed. It was mixed by somebody different. And if you're a producer, you'll know what I'm saying. Like it sticks out like a sore thumb. Maybe a lot of listeners wouldn't really hear this or even care, to be honest, because people don't care. In my opinion, I would have had Nipende remastered to match the rest of the project. But aside from that, though, like everything just goes, like Inakuma is the perfect song to end the project. And Naenda. I have listened to Naenda like 3 billion times.
Yeah.
And I personally think this is the song of the project. For me, this is the song of the project. The hook is phenomenal. Speechless.
I mean, yeah.
It brings a tear to my eye.
It brings a tear to my eye. Just the one tear. I mean, congratulations to her. Congratulations to her team. Congratulations to the producers.
For sure.
This is again, this is top one of the best albums of this year for me. It's definitely fighting. It's definitely top 3. Honestly,
it's top 3. It's 100% top 3. It's top 3 and it's not 3.
Yeah. So I'm going back to it again to listen and digest it. It might actually move up a couple of spots, but shout out to her.
No,
man.
guys.
Yeah.
Genuinely, Sam and I don't do. We review music at the end of the podcast. We don't really like take time to just do review. We've done it like once or twice in our 147 episodes. So when we do it, it's really intentional, and we're doing it for a reason, because this is great music. Yeah. So like Sam was about to say, shout out to Zaituni, shout out to Edna. Please just put all the marketing things you can. I don't even know what the marketing things are, but you just please music videos.
Yeah, we need some visuals.
I don't know.
Some
like
visuals
she needs to sit with everybody, give her interviews for like people need to have this music put in front of them for the next 4 months. 4 months, just push this thing, push the heck out of this. And the last thing I'm gonna say, Sam and I were having this conversation in private. Well, not in private, but off the podcast. What did I say in private? Anyway, and we were saying Zaituni, in my opinion, I was saying in my opinion, and I think Sam agreed, is one of the most underrated artists in our industry right now. And I think it's time for her to get her flowers like properly, because the people who give her flowers, but now it's time for the
she has a core fan base now, or she's building one.
She does.
Yeah,
she does. But trust me, Sam and I have an overrated, rated, and underrated list. If you all might want to just put that in the comments, and we may
I think they're just
list.
interested in the overrated one, because that's where the shade is.
I
People
know.
love shade and drama. That's all that's
oh
going
yeah,
to be.
people. Number one being me.
Yeah, I mean,
bro, shade
of
and
course,
drama is fun.
From you,
It's
it's
fun.
going to come in. It's internal for you. No, but there's definitely people who are underrated. And that's a good thing. I guess in line of our goals and what we're trying to do with the podcast, I feel like just mentioning the underrated and the rated, I guess, would be more in line with what we're trying to
Productive.
do. But there's definitely overrated. Like maybe if we had like a Patreon or something where an exclusive thing, then we could definitely talk about overrated, because there's
But that stuff still leaks,
lots
because
of them
the
there.
people on Patreon will still post it anyway. So.
Oh yeah, no, yeah,
Anyway,
but it's the what do you call it? The illusion of exclusivity is what Patreon is. But anyway,
For sure. But anyway, shout out to Zaituni. We want to get into new music. What did you listen to this week, aside from Labor of Love?
What did I listen to?
Actually, no, wait, Sam, let me start, because I genuinely did listen to much. And I feel like you listened to more music. Sorry to interrupt you, but like, yeah, I don't want you to finish, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I listened to all that and one song.
One other song.
Yeah. So the other songs I listened to, Furaha by Otile and Mviri. It's great to see Mviri linking with the Ops. Hey, who knows, man? Maybe they'll do a diss song to BN. That would be
what
interesting.
Are you up to? Just relax.
But see, Otile is BN's arch
then
nemesis.
now why are
is
you
Mviri making music together?
beef into this? Like, just let them make their song.
But it does look funny.
You're just messy.
But it looks funny but it looks funny for Mviri to be making music with the Ops.
I don't know if it's that deep.
It's like, who's Drake's understudy? But Drake has no understudies. But like, if somebody in the OVO camp was making music with Kendrick Lamar, like, come on, guy, that's not gonna happen. Anyway, hey, listen.
That's not what this
shout
is.
out to everybody. That's what this is in my mind. In my mind, that's
Of
what
course.
this is. This is peak. So the second song I listened to was Far Away by KayCyy and Njerae. Shout out to them. The song finally came out. The snippet was fire. We were all really excited because KayCyy, he teased Njerae, and then ASAP Rocky liked the post, and we were all like, oh my God, this is crazy. But like, it's finally out. I think they did a good job. I was vibing with it. So shout out to both of them. Let's see. I also listened to Mapenzi by Bridget Blue and Toxic Lyrically. So shout out to both of them. And I would say the last thing I listened to was PIC by Nyashinsky. To be honest, me personally, there's a few artists like you shouldn't ask me about, because I'm not the biggest like like what's the word? Like
I'm not helping
I would
you.
okay.
I'm not helping
I wouldn't
you. You
say
dig
I
your
listen
hole.
to Kali. Why are you not helping me? There's a few artists who I don't listen to a lot of, like Calligraph, and Nyashinsky is another one. But I really respect Nyashinsky for his catalog. But I don't know. I listen to this, and for me personally, my personal opinion, I just came out of this listen a little bit underwhelmed. I feel like saying that about Nyashinsky's music is almost like poking the beehive, but that's just how I felt. Anyway, that being said, I respect the rollout and I can't wait to see what they're building up to over there at Sony. And that's all I listened to this week.
Yeah. I just mentioned a few other ones. Asam Garvey dropped a project called Exercise 5. I think is what it's called. This is a good rap project. I need to go back to it again and just sit down. I kind of just skimmed over it, but yeah, I need to go back and sit down and digest a bit of it. But so yeah, he's been on a more experimental rap wave recently, so that's it's very cool that he has given us a project of that. Maybe that's kind of where he is as an artist. So, Bariki Wengine, the remix by Remy Baggins. Remy Baggins, Bariki Wengine by Watanda Willie off their latest project. Remy Baggins is the guy who produced All My Enemies Are Suffering by Bien. So he's been tapping into the Kenyan scene recently, which is cool. Shout out to him and shout out to the remix. We definitely need to see more. I like seeing more remixes, man. It just does well. And opens up our songs to more markets. So that's cool. Sophie Nzao dropped Higher Love. She was a little bit more lyrical in this one, which I think I enjoyed. So shout out to her. And
if you guys watch the visualizer, that's where Sam and I used to work.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, those walls. Oh, those walls. But don't spoil it for Sophia. Don't spoil the image for Sophia,
sorry.
man. Yeah. Why are you doing that, bro? Let her. But also it was cool. It's definitely a very similar sound to Maki. I realized that this is not the first, second, or third time that this is happening, where it's that same wacky, plucky, the same sort of stagnated chords. Sorry, I don't know whether stagnated is the real word, but then is the main word. The main word escapes me now. But then that same like pattern and style of chords, and even sound of chords, like they just want to throw Sophia on them to try and recreate that hit. You're not mad at people trying to recreate hits, but hey, so shout out to her. Njerae dropped Best Friend with Ish Kevin, which is cool again. I did like her verse on this one. It sounded like Njerae. And she's been using there's a thing where a lot of our artists are starting to use other languages rather than Swahili in their songs, and I'm here for it. Nigeria has been doing that for a long time, so why can't we do it? It's good for the industry. So yeah, of course I listened to Zaituni's project. Tea Party, I think it's what it's called, by Umoja Sounds and Mutoria. And yeah, just an EP, a couple of like small acoustic sounds, very chill, minimalistic, almost lo-fi-ish type music. So I did definitely enjoy that. Caterpillar is a rapper that I enjoy for the most part as well, and he dropped a song, so that was cool. Yeah, I think that's really what I paid attention to this week.
Guys, I think it's pretty obvious what we're gonna play, or what project we're gonna play from this week. Big surprise! We're gonna play a song from Labor of Love. In my opinion, I think the song I just really liked sonically was Naenda. But bro, there were so many bangers, man. Like for me, if I listen to a project and half of it, or like all those songs are songs that I want to play and repeat over and over again, you've already won. Because listen, Tamu, of course, TikTok is such a banger. Naenda, such a banger to me. Inakuma, such a banger to me. Sasa Hivi, really good. Bro, like, this project is just... Anyway, yes. So Sam, if you would allow me, before I get too carried away, let's play the song Naenda by Zaituni.
broken. My heart is broken from the words you say. Think that I'm hopeless, I'm only patient. Hate to live thinking I would have tried a little bit harder, but you found another. But I've tried my best to stay, believing you change. The joke is on me, na mini naenda. Promise me better days. Now it's over, I am done. Decision is made, signed, now move on. Nimechoka, mi naenda, mi sirudia. Mi ninaenda, enda, sirudi nyuma. Nimechoka, haya yote yamenichosha. Watch me say goodbye. Am I making you cry? Am I making you cry? Are you losing your mind? You don't know why this how pain feels like. Watch me say goodbye. Am I making you cry? Am I making you cry? Are you losing your mind? You don't know why this how pain feels like. Watch me say.
That was Naenda by Zaituni. Shout out to her, shout out to Edna, shout out to Anariko, and shout out to Chris Adwar. And just everybody who was involved with putting this project together. Solid body of work. You were doing Kenya proud. Thank you guys so much as always for listening to the podcast. Bro, 147 episodes you guys have listened to. So we really, really appreciate you. As we like to say, started this podcast because we want to see Kenyan artists played more and paid more. And if you're new here, I usually like to say the 3 C's, which is a mantra that I started for myself, but I decided to share with you guys because I'm not perfect and I'm trying to be better in my journey as an artist. And number 1 is craft. Always, always work on your craft. If you only have 5 minutes to spare in your day, use those 5 minutes to work on something related to your craft. And trust me, those 5 minutes will add up at the end of the year and they'll be really helpful. Number 2, confidence. Always be confident in your art. You have to be confident. That's what sells. Listen, nobody's going to listen to your music if you're not confident about it. If you put out your music and don't market it, do you know who's going to listen to it? Nobody. If you just put out your music and you just hide because you don't want to be perceived, do you know who's going to listen to it, Sam? Nobody. Yeah. If you put out your music and you're afraid to make TikToks or videos about it to remind people that you release music, do you know who's going to listen to it? Nobody. So you have to be confident about your music. And the last C is consistency. You have to be consistent. In this era where everybody is a creative, everybody has access to creative tools to make music, you're going to drown in the sea of content. But if you are consistent, I'm telling you, it's more valuable than being talented. If you are consistent, consistently growing, consistently improving, trust me, it's going to take you far. And yeah, man, those are the 3 C's, Sam.
Don't have much to say after that. That was cool. Thank you for that. Just everyone stay safe out there. Stay curious.
Yes, sir.
Make great art. And that's that.
All right. Well, as always, again, thank you guys so much for listening. And we will see you guys on episode 148.